What's up everyone, and welcome back to Top 5 Central. In today's video we're going to be taking a look at the top 10 new Pokemon coming to Pokemon Go. Currently Pokemon Go only contains Pokemon from the first generation of Pokemon games. But at the San Diego Comic-Con it was announced that Pokemon from the second generation would soon be making an appearance very shortly in the game. Today we'll be letting you in on the best of the best Johto Pokemon to get hyped for. If you haven't already, please feel free to subscribe to help us reach 500,000 subscribers. We are so close, guys. Also, let us know if you'd like to see a part 2 of this video by dropping a like on the video. If we can get 5,000 likes, I'll do a separate video about the legendary Pokemon that we'll see in future generations. But with that said, let's get right into the video. Number 10. Houndoom. Houndoom is a badass fire dark type dog Pokemon clearly designed after the Hounds of Hell itself. With two massive horns on its head, a spiked tail, and a set of bony ridges on its back, this Pokemon looks extremely intimidating and ready for battle. The Pokédex claims that if you're burned by the flames it shoots from its mouth, the pain will never go away, and that when it howls, other Pokemon will get shivers and return to their nests immediately. Number 9. Heracross. Bug Pokemon always tend to have pretty cool designs, and Heracross is no exception. With the giant horn on its head and its spiky claws on both the Pokemon's hands and feet, you could tell that this bug fighting type Pokemon isn't an opponent you should be taken lightly. While usually a pretty docile Pokemon, the Pokédex says Heracross is able to throw an object that is 100 times its own weight. And considering Heracross weighs a hefty 54 kilograms, that's a lot of throwing power. Number 8. Feraligatr. Evolved from the starter Pokemon Totodile, the big jaw Pokemon Feraligatr is a terrifying bipedal monster that looks a lot more like a dragon than a water type. Based off of alligators in the real world, Feraligatr usually walks slowly on four legs until it finds its prey. At that point it moves at blinding speed, and the Pokédex states that when it bites with its massive and powerful jaws, it shakes its head and savagely tears up its victim.
Hurry, Snorlax! Push it out of the ring!
Snorlax is our new champion!
Yeah!
Number 7. Espeon. Espeon is one of the new evolutions that will be arriving in the Generation 2 update. The regal-looking psychic-type Pokemon was said to have developed precognitive powers to protect its trainer from harm, and it actually uses the fine hair on its body to sense air currents, which it uses to predict the enemy's next move. I'm really curious to see as to whether all Generation 2 Pokemon will be better than Generation 1. When Espeon gets added in, will it be better than Vaporeon or Flareon? Let me know down in the comments below. Number 6. Umbreon. Umbreon is the other of the two new evolutions that Generation 2 will add to the game. The Dark-type Pokemon is the polar opposite of its psychic counterpart. Umbreon is regal in a completely different way. When agitated, the Pokemon sprays poison sweat from its body, but when excited, the golden rings that cover its body glow brightly. I feel like Umbreon is the coolest looking evolution of Eevee. Jolteon looks the best from Generation 1, but for both 1 and 2, I feel like Umbreon really takes it. Number 5. Scizor. So Generation 2 won't just add new Pokemon to its roster, it also brings new evolutions for Pokemon that exist in the current version of the game. One example of this is the bug steel type Pokemon Scizor. Its body is coated in a tough metal exoskeleton, and the Pokédex claims that it could crush literally any hard object into bits with its tough eye-patterned claws. It's the evolved version of Scyther, which is already pretty rare in Generation 1 of Pokemon Go, so I'm really curious to see how rare Scizor will be. Number 4. Steelix. Another new evolution of a Gen 1 Pokemon is the mighty Steelix. The Iron Snake Pokemon is both steel and ground type with a body that the Pokédex claims is harder than a diamond. Obviously, it's the evolved version of Onix, which we already have in Pokemon Go. Now, it's actually immune to both electric and poison type moves and can only be hit with super effective attacks from 4 different types. So Steelix is weak to fighting, ground, fire, and water type Pokemon, but he's resistant and immune to the majority of other Pokemon types. Number 3. Blissey. Although Chansey was on our list of the worst Pokemon in Pokemon Go, its evolved form Blissey might be one of the best Pokemon in the game. I feel like it's going to end up filling that spot currently owned by Pokemon like Lapras and Snorlax that don't do a lot of damage, but they can take quite a beating. As a normal type Pokemon, Blissey is only weak to fighting types and can't even be hit by ghost types, making it a perfect tank. And just like Chansey, it has a ridiculous amount of health, making it really good in fights. Number 2. Typhlosion. Typhlosion is the fully evolved version of Cyndaquil, which is one of the starter Pokemon. Honestly, it really makes me curious to see how they're going to introduce Generation 2 and if they'll even give you starter Pokemon. Anyways, with a ring of fire around its neck, the Volcano Pokemon was an instant hit with trainers who had loved Charmander in the previous generation. The Pokédex claims that if it gets too angry, Typhlosion becomes so hot that anything it touches will instantly be set on fire. Number 1. Tyranitar. All of the Pokemon in this list have been awesome in their own way, but nothing compares to the intimidating might of Tyranitar. Tyranitar is a rock dark type Pokemon with attitude that has the ability to literally bring down mountains with its overwhelming strength just to make its nest. Tyranitar is all about fighting and will challenge any enemy it finds because its tough armor is said to nullify any sort of attack. So what's really ironic about this Pokemon is that it really reminds me of Weedle and Caterpie. It starts off as Larvitar and then evolved into Pupitar. Both of these Pokemon don't seem to be that good until boom, all of a sudden you get Tyranitar, which is an absolute beast. So anyways, that's our list of the top 10 new Pokemon coming to Pokemon Go. If you have an idea for a top 10 or a top 5 in the future, you could submit the idea with our new form in the description below. Also, like I said earlier, we are so close to 500,000 subscribers, so make sure you subscribe so you never miss out on another one of our videos. With that said, we'll see you all later. Thanks for watching.